Okay, we found our way back into the S&S R&D department. We're talking with Jeff Bailey. He just came back from Bonneville and setting some records with this bike sitting right here. Jeff, first of all, congratulations on your record. And what were they?
Oh, thank you. My records, I have two records in two different classes. I got a record at about 180 miles an hour and then another record at 176 miles an hour. My fastest one-way speed was about 181, so we made 8 good runs in 4 days of racing and made every run count, either qualified or set a record on every run, so it was a good trip.
Okay, we're going to ask Jeff the main thing. I'm thinking 185 miles an hour. Jeff, how did it handle? What did it feel like?
Well, before this trip, the fastest I'd gone was 172, and that was behind a fairing. But this bike, without a fairing, going 181 miles an hour, it was actually quite a bit different. I really had to hang on, and during the run, it's actually about 20 seconds at 180 miles an hour to go through the mile. So you have a lot of time to think about it. And a couple of those runs, I looked over at my hand, and I was really just hanging on by my fingertips. So it's a little bit more hairy than I wanted to, but the bike handled pretty good. Again, it's unproven. I've added a lot of weight to it to get it to go straight and not turn or not do anything weird. But otherwise, the bike handled really good.
Okay, Jeff, we're talking about a lot of power. One of the things that I'm always concerned about as far as being a rider is reliability. I like to cruise everywhere, but I do want to go fast. How did the motor run, and did you have to rebuild it or do any major tweaking?
No, the motor ran great at Bonneville. It was a pretty fresh engine before we went out there, but we made 8 runs, all at over 170 miles an hour, a couple up to about 181 miles an hour, and really didn't touch the engine all week long. We pulled the spark plugs and checked those, and then we had to, when we got measured after setting a record, we had to take the push rods out and readjust those. But other than that, did not touch the engine all week long. It ran great.
Well, one of the great things that Jeff enjoys is the fact that he works here at S&S. Not only does he work in the R&D department and in engineering, but he also gets to go out and test the very motors that you're going to be driving on the street. So when you think about these things going 185 miles an hour, think about the fact that it's all in testing for you when it comes to performance with S&S. Okay, Jeff, one of the benefits of being the head engineer here at S&S is the fact that when you put together an engine like you did here, what I'd like to call a Frankenstein motor, you had intake issues, throttle body issues. There isn't a piece, a part that you can go to off the shelf that fits. You designed this part right here with the rapid prototype machine that you have here at S&S. Mm-hmm. Tell us about it and how you did it.
Well, I worked with one of our designers, Grant Hilligus, who spent some time on using our Co-Create solid designer software, and him and I went back and forth with taking some measurements and looking at the bike, and eventually we figured out a design that would fit around not only the engine but also the chassis. So after we made a rapid prototype and fit it up on the bike, we then made a wax prototype and sent that out to our foundry, and they made the aluminum part that we eventually machined and fit on the bike. It flows really great and it fits perfect, and we didn't have any issues after we put it on the bike.
One of the great benefits about having your head engineer designing parts to motors that you're going to be riding in the future, if you really want to make your bagger boogie.